Hi, this is really Big Daddy Bo, two-time former world heavyweight champion, and you're watching Cool True Sports.
True School Sports.
True School Sports.
There you go, champ. Thank you.
If the rematch happens, what would you advise Wilder to improve on coming into the third fight?
Well, if it's a rematch, I would say, hey, man, you got to jab. I'll teach him how to jab. He don't know how to jab. One point, I was trying to teach him how to jab once he was here, but he never learned how to jab. He got to learn how to jab. He got to learn how to throw punches, and he just got to get the guy out of there because he's not overtrained. I think he had a lot of overtraining to do because he was tired after the second and third round. He was tired. He didn't have nothing else to fight with. Jab. One point, I was trying to teach him how to jab once he was here, but he never learned how to jab. One point, I was trying to teach him how to jab once he was here, but he never learned how to jab. He got to jab. One point, I was trying to teach him how to jab once he was here, but he never learned how to jab. He got to jab. One point, I was trying to teach him how to jab once he was here, but he never learned how to jab.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I was patrolling the YouTube interwebs looking for new content, because I'm always watching interviews, I'm always taking in boxing information. I'm a student of the game. I love learning about the sport. I love hearing what people have to say about the sport. So I was looking and I found this interview from Boxing Insider Radio, so I'm going to leave the link down below. And you know what? It was so great that we'll even give them a shout out. Subscribe to Boxing Insider Radio. I'll leave the annotation right here, wherever it's at. So yeah, subscribe to Boxing Insider Radio because this is great stuff. So Boxing Insider Radio, they went ahead and they did an interview with a guy that's one of my personal favorites of all time, a guy that I hold in high esteem, in high regards, and I think every boxing fan should hold in high esteem and high regards, and that's none other than the Eastern Assassin himself, Larry Holmes. Now, Larry Holmes, what can we say about Larry Holmes? One of the greatest heavyweights of all time. We're talking about one of the longest heavyweight title reigns of all time. We're talking about the best jab in the business. So, when Larry Holmes speaks about boxing, I think it's fair enough that we should listen to the great Larry Holmes. So, he did a whole long thing talking about Wilder Fury 2. He started venting about how he believes that, Mark Breland and Wilder's team did him a disservice in the corner, which I think is fair. I never thought that JD's or Mark Breland were the best in the world as far as people behind the corner, and he brought up some good points that maybe even I may have overlooked. So you want to listen to the interview, but he said one thing, and he said it real quickly. So if you didn't really pay attention to the interview, if you weren't really locked into the interview, then you might have missed it. He said that I guess a couple of years ago, he was actually trying to teach Deontay Wilder how to jab, and Deontay Wilder still doesn't know how to jab. Now, Wilder fanboys might say I'm spinning this and creating a narrative out of nothing, but let's just use common sense for a second. Larry the Eastern Assassin Holmes, who I believe was at the Gerald Washington fight, because there's videos of him talking about the Gerald Washington fight. So it might have been when that fight happened. He didn't specify when he was trying to teach Wilder how to jab, but let's just use common sense. Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin, heavyweight all-time great, best jab in history of the division, one of the best jabs in the history of the sport. He tried to teach Deontay Wilder how to jab. Deontay Wilder still doesn't really know how to jab. So let's put two and two together. He doesn't know how to jab. He doesn't really listen to his corner. He almost fired his longtime trainer, Mark Breland. I think it's fair to say that Deontay Wilder didn't listen to Larry Holmes. He didn't listen to freaking Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes, you cannot make this shit up. Larry Holmes, the man with the best division in the history, the best jab in the history of the division, tried to teach Deontay Wilder how to jab, and Wilder didn't listen to him. So if he won't listen to freaking Larry Holmes, who is he listening to? Who is he listening to? This was a great interview. This interview, I think, gave us even more insight to Wilder than we already had because, I was already under the impression that Deontay Wilder wasn't listening to his corner. Obviously they're not the best. Neither JD's or Mark Breland, I believe, are the best corner in the world. But I was already under the impression that Deontay Wilder didn't listen to them. But then after hearing this interview, from Larry Holmes. I'm convinced that he's not gonna listen to anybody. That he's a lost cause. Like, he is a lost cause. He really thinks he's that good. He thinks he's that good that he can actually forego listening to Larry the Eastern Assassin Holmes. I mean, do you know what we're talking about here? We're talking about what was it? 16 title defenses, 17 title defenses, lineal heavyweight champion. We're talking about a man that did rounds with Muhammad Ali over there in Pennsylvania. Come on, man. How is Larry Holmes gonna teach you how to jab and you still don't know how to jab? Obviously, he's not the only heavyweight in boxing that, all-time great heavyweight in boxing that's tried to teach Deontay Wilder how to jab. No. There's also that famous video with him with Lennox Lewis trying to teach Deontay Wilder how to jab in the parking lot when Deontay Wilder was a young fighter. So, I mean, wow, I'm mind blown. Deontay Wilder didn't even listen to Larry Holmes. He didn't take anything from Larry Holmes. He didn't try to learn anything from Larry Holmes. He just figured, you know what? I'm different. I'm going to break all the rules of the sport and might get this so great that I'm never going to get found out. But as we know, he got found out. And yeah, that's what it is. So listen, this video is not going to be too long. I want you guys to go over and listen to the interview because there's a lot of gems Larry Holmes was dropping in regards to Fury Wilder, in regards to how he would help Wilder, and just his own career. So it's great stuff from the fine folks at Boxing Insider Radio. Go check that out. But yeah, the news, pretty much the main idea of this video is Deontay Wilder wouldn't even listen to Larry Holmes teaching him how to jab. So if he won't do that, then it's even worse than I thought. It's even worse than I thought. I knew it was bad, but it's even worse than I thought. So I'm interested to see what the comment section is gonna say, because I know I get a lot of Wilder fanboys, which is pretty funny because you would think a lot of Deontay Wilder fans hate my channel, but then they keep coming back to my channel. So do they really hate my channel, or are they just confused admirers? I don't know. We don't know. But anyway, like the video, take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dingus. So until next time, take care, guys. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. We're at the Davy Powell. And you're watching True School Sports. Does he make sense?